Hi, I'm Trisha Boss. I'm a recovery support peer specialist. I'm also a person in long-term recovery from substances, and I've been system impacted, which means that I've been to prison. I wanted to share with you a little bit about my story with substances, and it starts when I was 12 years old. So when I was 12, I started taking shots of liquor from my friend's parents' home until I was brave enough to take entire bottles. But the important thing I want to share with you is that I wasn't a party girl. I drank so that I could sleep at night. And so when someone starts doing something like that for those reasons at that young of an age, we want to examine why that's happening. So a lot of my story has to do with adverse childhood experiences or ACEs. And those are traumatic things that happen to you as a child that will affect you as you go into your teenage and adult years. So for part of my story, and a lot of it I cannot remember, but it has to do with the fact that I was abandoned as a baby when I was a brand new newborn. So though I don't remember those active things happening, my subconscious does. And then I was adopted, which is a beautiful thing. I was also adopted into a family that was not emotionally regulated. So I suffered from emotional, physical, and later sexual abuse in the church due to those experiences and those circumstances. So what that means is that when I was a teenager, I didn't have a lot of tools on how to handle those emotions that come with becoming a teenager. I didn't have anything in my tool belt, so to speak, like we are trying to offer and support a lot of children nowadays. So when I got to be a teenager, the one thing that did make me feel better and the one thing that made me sleep and feel rested was to drink alcohol. And little did I know that that would be a lifelong thing that I would battle. So in my 20s, I abused it. I drank myself through a Bachelor's of Science in Nursing, and I also drank myself out of that licensing 15 years later. Alcohol is a substance that's also serious, even though it is legal. It's not worse or better than any of the other substances that we find on the streets today. So in my 30s, I was dependent on alcohol, and in my 40s, I was diagnosed with alcohol use disorder, depressive disorder, which is a mental health disorder, and also I was emotionally unregulated. So when you tack on to top of that, a horrible custody battle, a divorce, I was a recipe for disaster. And because I did not know how to seek treatment, I did not have a safe or brave space to do that. On August 15th of 2015, I got into an argument with my boyfriend at the time. And like a logical person, he went to bed afterwards, but I stayed up and I drank until I thought that I was able to and strong enough to have a voice in the matter. What I ended up doing was I irresponsibly fired a gun and it injured him. The bullet stopped 1 millimeter from his spinal cord and he almost lost his life because of my actions. So I served 4 years and 2 months in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, and I received a 7-year sentence, rightfully so for that. Thankfully, Judge Jack Hunter did make a full recovery while I was in Nueces County Jail. And if it wasn't for that, I honestly don't know if I would have survived the rest of my prison time, knowing that my actions had taken someone else's life. So substances are a very serious issue. Mental health is a very complex disorder that we have to hold ourselves accountable in seeking treatment when we know that there is something going wrong drastically. So what I want to impart from this is that you can create a better life for yourself. My life from that point on, after I completed my parole 3 years ago, is that there are places and entities out there that provide helps and treatment, and also organizations that provide second chances. And for me, a huge part of my story is that I was employed at Chick-fil-A South Clack, and Brian LaCroix and his team, Kyle Bowen, and all the managers and directors there, they gave me opportunity, and they saw something in me that's called leadership. I did become a team lead, and which is incredible because I never really thought that I would accomplish anything ever again. And so because places like fast food services or any organization that will offer second chances, it is important that we create those safe spaces and we advocate for them because people do deserve a second chance in life. And it is vital that we provide those opportunities and we share those with people, whether it's mental health, whether it's substances. Everyone does not have to hit their rock bottom in order to find recovery. And so if you're sitting here and you're watching that today, there are places and entities that you can reach out to. At Chick-fil-A, you can go to a director, organization, or anyone that is a safe person that you identify in your workplace. There is our local mental health authority, which is Betty Hardwick here. There's a hotline you can call. You can also call 988, and I tell this to everyone because it has a texting system. Some people don't like to talk on the phone, but if you can text someone for help, I highly suggest that. Or if you feel like you need to call 911 because you have a different type of crisis situation or you need help immediately on site, the crisis team at Betty Hardwick, they collaborate with our local police department and our social workers. So on site, you will have a community health worker show up, someone from the police department, someone from our emergency medical services, so that holistically they can help you and provide you the treatment that's needed. So what I ask of you today is that if you are suffering or thinking that you are having an issue with any type of substance, to just reach out, because you don't want to be in a crisis before you actually seek help.